Episode 3431, Begin Where You Stand.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. Are you ready for a brand new week, a brand new day? Yes, it is Mindset Monday, and you need to have the tools with you to do and live the dream that you want to live. Sometimes that means it takes work. Sometimes that means starting over. But today, you begin where you stand. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you'll want to head over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and to sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. You know, there's a lot going on right now here at Create Your Now, and I'm sure you have got a bundle of things happening. Maybe you're just now beginning your summertime. It was interesting. I was traveling last week and enjoying my time with our mastermind and just a sweet time together. And it's just a time for refreshment. It's a time of taking ourselves and saying, okay, this is where we are and this is where we need to go. But what does it look like in between? How do we get from where we are and where we're going? And sometimes I think we get a little bit confused because we think we need to be further ahead. And we were talking about our 3-year goals. And sometimes when we plan in advance, like if you're going to plan your life, you want to do investments, you think, okay, well, what's my return on investment, right? You buy a house and you think, if I sell that house, what is my return on that? If I invest money into something, what's my return on that? And then you think, what about my dreams? And do you ever ask yourself, well, what's my return on that? A lot of times we don't. We just think, well, I need to get there. You know, you're not just driving to your dreams. It's a journey. And so I want you to think a little bit differently as to where you are now and where you want to go. What would happen if you stopped changing everything all the time to start fresh? Whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's your career, whether it's building a network marketing company, maybe it's building a brick and mortar store, maybe it's writing your book, maybe it's actually getting out of your corporate job to come home and be a stay-at-home mom. What is it for you? What if you just stop saying, I got to change this, I got to change that? Instead, you embrace your current reality and hold on to the seeds you already planted. Begin where you stand. You know, because whatever journey you're on with personal growth and self-improvement, where you say, gosh, I need this personal development in this area, the idea of starting from scratch can feel daunting. You become exhausted or overwhelmed before you even begin. You look at your goals, you look at your dreams, and you think, oh my gosh, this would be so amazing. But with so much advice on radical transformations and overnight successes, right? Going viral all the time, and you hear that term, oh, this reel went viral. They'll report it on the news. In fact, you'll see the reel in your own feed because it's so popular. And it's easy to overlook the power of beginning right where you are. My friend, the key is understanding sustainable progress and lasting change. And in shorter terms, it's called Create Your Now. That's what it is. That's what living a full life is all about. It's in the presence. Begin where you stand. Create your now. Dr. John Demartini, we had him on. I'll try to put the number. I cannot remember. It's been maybe it's been a couple years. You know, it's hard to think through. We've had so many incredible guests on here, but Dr. John Demartini, he's an incredible man, a wealth of wisdom, and just this deep, thoughtful man who goes so much deeper. You know, I call him kind of like a walking philosopher. And I love what he says. The foundation for everything you do in life is based on relationships. Begin with the relationship you have with yourself. Begin where you stand. And when you look at it, it's about capturing this whole point of, I acknowledge and I'm going to nurture the resources and opportunities that I have right in front of me, that are already present in my life. You got to focus on what is right before you and not lose sight of where you're headed. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Focus on what is right in front of you, right? It's not about, okay, I've got to be perfect all the time. Oh man, I failed here, so that means I need to change all of this up. One thing that I love about our mastermind is we challenge each other in different ways. Some people are making and living out their dreams very easily, but they're changing their lives in a different manner. They're like, no, I've got this, but then I've got this dream over here. Like I've got my career, but I want to impact in a different way. I want to go out and I want to help people who can't afford housing, but I want to provide a house for them, a good solid structure to raise their family as a single mom. And they can come in and they can live here and it doesn't have to break the bank, but it allows them to get the support that they need. What is it for you? What is it that stirs you up that passion? Because a lot of times what we're doing is we look at what we have and we look at where we want to go and we forget that there's this whole process in between. And you've got to focus on what is right in front of you. Because if you jump ahead, you're going to miss stuff. If you try to take a shortcut, you're going to miss something. And I know when you fail, it's like, oh man, just take this and scratch it all. I'm just going to throw it in the dumpster. I don't need to worry about it. But what if part of what you did worked? And now you need to take it and you need to change it up a little bit. How would that change your focus? How would that change your mentality? How would that change your emotions and your feelings? Would you get up a little bit happier in the morning? Like, okay, it was tough, but you know what? I've got a little spark here of hope, and so I'm going to go with that. Now, at the mastermind, it was interesting. We were talking about what we wanted to do in 3 years. And it's easy to look at a 3-year span. 3 years is tangible. Man, when you hit 5 and 10 years out, you're like, oh, a lot can change. I mean, a lot can change in a day, but a lot can change in 5 or 10 years. And so that 3 years was something that, I was like, okay, I can grab onto this. And so I really started thinking about my personal life. And then I started thinking about Create Your Now. I thought about you and how I can serve you, how I can build you up to the point where you can walk and create your now every single day. You walk up and it may not be the perfect day, but it's a day of progress. It's a day of presence. It's a day of purpose with passion. What is driving you? Maybe it's not driving you, but it could be if you were to focus on what is right before you. So I want to give you 3 ways that we can make this come alive in our everyday, hence to create your now. Yes. Number 1, practice gratitude. And I know we talk about that a lot. I get it. We hear it. But I just want you to take a moment each day to appreciate the blessings and lessons in your current situation. Whatever it is. Maybe it's to pay your bills. You may only have $100 left in the bank, but you can pay your bills. You can put food on the table. You have a roof over your head. Maybe you're not getting stuff in your savings account, but you have what you need right now. Appreciate that. Don't sit there and always fuss about, gosh, I wish I, had an extra $1,000 in my pocket. Yeah, I think all of us would like that. But there are some seasons in our life that we don't get what we want in our bank account. But you see, if you have gratitude in your heart, it helps to shift your perspective towards abundance, and it allows you to see opportunities where you may have seen challenges. So what do you know? What can you use and extend based on what you have? You see, gratitude helps to set your barometer to see what's possible in the work you're already doing. Sometimes we just need to make a shift. We need to have a different pivot. Maybe there's a detour involved, but it doesn't mean we have to take everything, totally, crumble up the blueprint, put it in the shredder and say, I'm beginning from scratch again. Now, there are times, yes, we have to do that, but not all the time. A lot of times we can take those seeds, and as those seeds begin to bud and they grow, then it's like, oh, wait, okay, this one's not looking good, but this one is. Okay, let's focus on this over here. And then you nurture the other one, but you take care of the one that's working for you right now. And then what happens? It begins to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So practice gratitude. Number 2, set realistic goals. Let me tell you, I don't know how long it's been, decades. I've been trained on goal setting. I had training when I was in high school literally that I can remember. This was back in the day. Yes, we didn't have computers like we do now. However, when I was in middle school, I did take a coding class. Okay, we'll leave that for another episode. But it was one of those things where in high school, we got to do some very creative things. And when I was in high school, I lived in Hawaii. And so one of the things I really wanted to do in stretching my leadership was I wanted to work in the tour industry. And so I went through this whole leadership, and we had to be nominated. Not everybody got to do it. So it was a very, very small, intricate, group of kiddos. I mean, we were kids back then. Not that I'm not a kid now, but back then we were definitely kiddos. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? And so starting all the way back then, it was like, how do you set your goal, right? You've got to have these goals that you can reach. They've got to be SMART goals. You've heard all of that, right? Then I go into working out in the corporate world, and I was trained by the best, the best, the best. And you had to go to the conferences. So my employer, and I had multiple employers that would pay to send me to these. And so it was great. I loved it. I ate it up. And then a couple of them, I just signed up for myself. So I've been really embracing goals for a long time, but you know what? It's hard to set realistic ones. Because when you have a dream, it's like, oh, I want to touch it. And when you're close, you're like, oh, I got this. And then when everything begins to fall apart, you're like, I don't have this. And then what happens? You turn and you go a different direction. So instead of aiming for drastic changes or unattainable outcomes, set those small achievable goals that align with your current circumstances, the season of life that you're in. Create your now. That's what I mean, is where you sit here and say, okay, today, the kids are home sick, or it's summertime. Maybe your kids are done with school already. And so you're kind of on a summer schedule. What works in your summer schedule? If you want to write a book and you know that you're going to have the kids around you for 6 or 7 hours and you really need to be writing more, then you may have to get up earlier or stay up later. Okay. Or you do it during nap time, depending upon the ages of your kids. Or maybe you tell your kids, this is nap time or this is quiet time. And that's when you do your writing. But you got to set those realistic goals. You don't have to sit there and say, okay, I can't do this. Because remember, this too shall pass. It's a season that you're in. Incremental progress builds momentum, and it keeps you motivated along the way, right? I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And eventually it gets to, I did. I actually did it. You may be a big dreamer, but my friend, dreams take time. So set those goals that help you gain momentum every day so you can create your now. And then finally, number 3, embrace your journey. We hear this phrase all the time, embrace the journey. It's about the journey. It's not about the destination. And yes, it all sounds wonderful. And it's beautiful words, and you can ground yourself in it. And as much as I love being in nature, like we can do all of this stuff, right? Meditation, whatever floats your boat. But you've got to accept that growth is a continuous process, and that setbacks and obstacles are part of the path to success. And that success is however you define it. It's not the way I define it. It's not the way your neighbor does. It's not the way your spouse does. It's not the way your kids do, or your administration of your school, or a leader in your community, or your pastor at church. It's how you define success. No one can tell you if you're succeeding. Only you can. If that's the only thing you take away from today to create your now, is that no one can tell you what your success is. Only you can. Don't accept the shortcuts. So embrace every experience as a valuable lesson that contributes to your growth and resilience. That determination that says, you know what? As I learn and grow, I'm going to gain the territory that's going to lead me closer to my dreams. I got this. In a world obsessed with reinvention, remember that true growth often comes from nurturing the seeds already planted. And when you understand this mindset shift, you can then transform how you approach your challenges and your opportunities. And that's going to empower you personally. And that's going to help you to have that sustainable progress toward where you're headed. Not the destination. It's the journey now that you look at. It's flexing the consistency component muscle in your everyday when you create your now. So remember, you're not restarting today, my friend. Yes, it is a brand new day with new mercies, and you have joy in front of you. Now embrace the next step, One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. Begin where you stand and create your now. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.